followed in advertising also, which is just because you are excited with the idea does not really make it a great product. It has to lend itself into great execution also. If your idea cannot be executed brilliantly, or if you can't really see it to the finish in a beautiful manner, then there is no point in having a great idea. You know, one-line ideas can be very misleading. At the same time, very simple ideas, if they can be really made to look very beautiful, can really be very nice. You know, so those are the two different parameters I keep in mind when I get started. Then I write the story, which can be a 4-pager or a 9-pager or a 15-pager. I have written different screenplays with different length of stories. Then I write one-line structure, sir. You know, which is one-line structure which you write till the end, which depending on how long you want to write your screenplay can be anywhere between 75 to 100 lines. How you break the scenes. That is extremely critical for me, sir, because it's very easy to make changes in one-line structure. And it gives you a very quick recap of how the flow, how the emotions, how the characters, everything is flowing.
Sequencing and all.
Yeah. Then I start writing the screenplay.
इस पॉइंट के ऊपर कोई अगर सवाल पूछना चाहे स्क्रीन राइटिंग के बारे में, क्विक क्वेश्चन, जस्ट वन, एनीबॉडी? या स्ट्रेट अवे.
नमस्कार नीरज जी, माय नेम इज आकाश आदित्य लामा.
या हाय.
सर मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ कि जैसे आपने कहा कि आपने पॉइंटर्स में कहानी बना ली, लेकिन जब आपकी फिल्म बनती है तो क्या हेलो?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you. Anyway, I'll repeat your question.
हाँ सर, जब आपकी फिल्म बनती है तो क्या हमेशा वही सीक्वेंस में रहता है कि फिल्म एडिटिंग टेबल में आके आपका स्क्रीन पे चेंज होता है?
No, only very few things might change, you know, but predominantly you have to stick to the structure which you've written, otherwise your logic will go for a toss. But, I mean, you write a screenplay keeping a certain sequence of events which are happening. It's not a random collection of montage, you know, which you can jumble up and still it will make sense. There is a logic to it, you know, there is a sequential flow to it. But yes, you know, maybe there are a few things which if you alter and if they make better sense if you alter them, that always happens. It's happened with all my films. I've always changed something or the other in every film which I have made, which is not exactly as per the screenplay. Because on the editing table that makes better sense.
Okay, coming back to Ashwini now. Gold medal from Sophia Polytechnic in commercial art. How does it? Is it the real career progression to being a filmmaker? Of course, you came through the advertising, and that's a long journey. Tell us a little about that journey after your graduation.
I come from a very middle class background. I studied in Mulund and then did my commercial arts from Sophia Polytechnic. My mother wanted me to be a CA, like a typical South Indian, and I was not interested. I wanted to become a painter. So she told me that painting to humko bechna nahi aata, to we are not business people. So she found out that there's something called commercial arts where you will get a job in advertising, or you will get to in a publishing house, and you'll be able to draw. So her meaning of art was to draw. So that's how I got into arts in commercial arts.
Your mother was a principal.
My mother was a principal for school, so typical principal. She just made sure that I had all the rules in place. Then I joined Leo Burnett, and I joined as a trainee there. And so what happens is that I think as in when you start moving in advertising, you start doing more than what you're supposed to do. So when I became a creative director, I was thinking of ads, I was writing, I was art directing also. But what happens in advertising is that you can write, you have to do everything. But then an art director art directs, a writer will write, a client servicing will go and sell the brand, sell whatever you've done. By actual, there's someone talking a lot.
Me and Vikas took our sweet time to finish writing Chiller Party, and we thought it was a very sweet screenplay which we wrote, and both of us didn't want to direct it. We just wanted to write it. So and we took it to a lot of directors. Both of us, I remember going and making a lot of narrations to all the directors who we thought would do justice to that screenplay, but nobody was willing to touch it because it had 10 kids and one dog. तो मतलब स्टार तो कोई था ही नहीं, तो nobody wanted to make a film like Chiller Party. So we were left with only two choices, either to forget it or do it ourselves. So Vikas finally convinced me that we should be directing it together. I was not very keen to direct because अच्छा खासा एक कुशन जॉब था एडवर्टाइजिंग में. वैसे ही मैं एक बार IIT छोड़ के एडवर्टाइजिंग में कूद चुका था. अब एडवर्टाइजिंग छोड़ के फीचर फिल्म में कूदना was looking little risky to me. But then I realized one thing, कि I have done it once before. Why should I be so scared? And what is the worst thing which will happen? What do I stand to lose? Nobody anyways looks at me as a director. Nobody is gonna see, look, Nitesh Tiwari has made such a bad film. Nobody knows Nitesh Tiwari. So it's okay. Might as well go and make a film. And as she was saying, it's very important for you to be honest with yourself. And that's precisely the reason why I told her that make a short film, test yourself whether you can direct it or not. If you think that you can't direct, please go back to what you are doing. Do not know that you are not a good director and still continue to direct. That's like you are really doing injustice to yourself. So Chiller Party was mine and Vikas's way of not only making what we loved, but also testing ourselves whether we should continue to make more films or not. If it had really turned out badly, I would have honestly gone back into my shell. I'd have happily done advertising and writing.
Thank God we would have lost a wonderful director. That the Chiller Party one. Coming back to your films, when you decide to make the film, do you discuss the stories with each other? Do you share at home at the breakfast table? I'm trying to do this. Does it happen?
उसकी सारी फिल्में मैं ही लिखता हूँ.
अरे वो तो मैंने देख लिया. No, is it out of protection that okay, I am a good writer, let me protect you?
No. She reads a lot of other screenplays also. I'm not jealous at all.
Okay. So let's hear from her. What is her reaction?
See, the thing is that it's not that we're working for the first time together. We've been working together for a very, very long time right now. I feel for any creative person, whether, especially in our industry, whether it's a director, writer, and for me, even the editor, there has to be a egoless contribution, because no one can become bigger than the other. And I feel that right now it's becoming more and more important to glorify writers and editors and cinematographers and everyone. So for me, that bonding is very important. And what happens most of the time is that if your relationship, it's almost like a relationship for a long time. And if your relationship with your writer is not has even 10% doubts, it should just, like, you should not be working.
It's like dreaming together.
Yeah, I
I'll
would say
just
that.
give you one
Literally
two-
in our sense, but
two
yeah.
small examples of how it's important to have mutual trust and a healthy relationship between. I'm not talking about husband or wife. I'm talking about what a director and a writer means, and I'm purely talking as a writer right now, because my films, I'm a writer, so I deal with myself differently there. Uh, but I don't know how many of you have seen Bareli Ki Barfi. Okay, very happy. A lot of people have
काफी
seen
लोगों
it.
ने.
Yeah. So when we wrote, me and my writer Sherry, when we wrote it for the first time, we had setting it was not Bareli Ki Barfi. It was set in Goa. It had very different characters, and माँ बाप तो थे ही नहीं, लड़की के, and she was running a French restaurant in Goa somewhere. So it was a very different film, although the story was more or less the same, and everyone was very happy. She was very happy. Producers were happy, and somewhere it kind of kept on bothering me that something is not right about it. It's nice, everything is falling in place, but something is not right. So one fine night, while I was coming back after doing the look test of Dangal from तो 1.5 घंटा मेरे पास ऑटो में कोई काम नहीं था, तो मैं सोच रहा था कि इसमें क्या कर सकते. उस समय उसका वर्किंग टाइटल रायता था. रायता तो उसमें भी फैल रहा था, बट स्टिल. So in the auto, I got this thought, that what if we shift everything and make it really, really drastically different. And suddenly, a lot of things started falling in my head. It sounds, the more characters started flowing in. The father with mithai came in my head. That 1.5 hours of travel, and even the title came in my head, Bareli Ki Barfi. So I came back home and I wrote 3 pages. And in the morning, she woke up and I told her that do not freak out. This is what I think we should do to Raita. Now this is, imagine your whole screenplay has been written and you're approaching actors, about to approach actors, and she reads it and she says, I think it's very nice and it makes it even much better. And we went to our producers and they agreed that this is much better. अभी ये हम लोगों ने अपने पैर पे कुल्हाड़ी मारी थी, मैंने और शरीर ने बैठ के पूरा स्क्रीन प्ले फिर से लिखा वहाँ पर. बट दिस इज द काइंड ऑफ ट्रस्ट योर डायरेक्टर हैज इन यू, बिकॉज इफ यू आर प्रेजेंटिंग समथिंग विच इज नाइस रादर देन सेइंग यार ऑलरेडी लिखा जा चुका है एक बार ना, क्यों हम लोग वो करें. So this is one thing. The another small thing is this Rajkumar's character which is there in the film. तो जो हमने उसको चेंज किया था, हमारा ओरिजिनल आइडिया कुछ और था. वी वर वेरी हार्ट ब्रोकन व्हेन शी बॉम्ब्ड इट. नो बट दैट इज द रिस्पेक्ट यू हैव टू गिव टू योर डायरेक्टर. मैंने और शेरी ने इनिशियली क्या लिखा था कि वो जो ये रियल लाइफ में होता है कि वो हिज जॉब वॉज, वो हाई कोर्ट के बाहर जो लंगूर के मालिक होते हैं ना, वो लंगूरों का काम होता है 9 बजे आते हैं और 6 बजे जाते हैं और उनका काम होता है बंदरों को भगाना, क्योंकि वो बंदर लोग आके फाइल्स चुरा के ले जाते हैं वकालत में. सो दिस इज राजकुमार, दिस वाज द राजकुमार जॉब विच वी हैड थॉट दैट ही वुड हैव अ लंगूर और वो बेचारा बंदरों को भगाएगा सुबह. और बंदर का नाम भी था ध्रुव. सो शी सेड कि नहीं यार इसमें इतना विजुअली मज़ा नहीं आएगा, लेट्स मेक हिम समथिंग विच इज गोना कनेक्ट मोर टू द masses. And then she gave us the idea of sari salesman and stuff like that. It will look very nice and stuff like. So we kind of respected her opinion and we were really heartbroken. मतलब we thought that हाई कोर्ट के बाहर लंगूर बंदर भगाने लगा क्या मजा आएगा. बट देन वी मेड चेंज हिम टू अ सारी सेल्समैन. बट दैट्स अ रिस्पेक्ट यू हैव फॉर योर डायरेक्टर. दैट्स
मेरा शेड्यूल भी ऐसा